Radio's Jessica Rosenthal, prosecutors want the death penalty. And the European Union filing an antitrust lawsuit against Google, alleging the company abuses its dominance on internet searches. The EU also investigating Google's Android mobile system. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Fox News on your time. The Fox News iPad app is ready to go with all the great features from FoxNews.com and our iPhone app optimized specifically for your iPad. Watch the latest clips from your favorite Fox News shows. Personalize the app by creating your own newscast using the video playlist. Listen to Fox News Radio live. Get local weather forecasts. And it's all free. Go to foxnews2go.mobi. That's foxnews2go.mobi.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never try are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Skip ice cream and have gelato. Yeah, it tastes rich because it's denser than ice cream. Gelato, you should know, has half the fat of most ice creams because it's made with milk, not cream. Go ahead and order the pad thai. Just stick it in the fridge. Eat the cold leftovers the next day. You want the resistant starch. Punctuality is one of the most difficult behaviors to change since it's deeply rooted in a person's personality.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
The Ocala Rotary Silver Anniversary Golf Scramble is at the Ocala Golf Club Friday, May 1st. Registration and lunch at 11:30 with a shotgun start at 1:30. Prizes include a Toyota for hole in one, closest to the pin, longest drive, par 3 poker, raffle, and every player receives a complimentary round of golf. Funds raised will support the Discovery Center and Rotary Foundation. Only $85 per player. For more information, contact Kay at 732-7080.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds and some intervals of sun today with a shower and heavy thunderstorm around this afternoon. The high today 84 to 88. Partly cloudy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm in the area, low 66 to 70. More clouds and sun tomorrow with a shower and heavier thunderstorm around in the afternoon, high 83 to 87. For Friday, mostly cloudy with a shower and thunderstorm during the late morning and afternoon hours, the high 82 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Enjoy a round of golf on one of Central Florida's finest courses and help a great cause Monday, May 11th, when Life South Community Blood Centers hosts a golf tournament to benefit the 5 Points of Life Foundation. The scramble will be held at Golden Ocala with registration and lunch at 11 and a shotgun start at 12:30. The cost is $200 per person, which includes a player gift package. To register, call Life South at 352-224-1728 or visit 5pointsoflife.org.
All right, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday morning. Hope you're doing well this morning. By the way, before we get into the Marco Rubio discussion, just to recap on what Robin and I are doing for the Marion County Literacy Council. We are part of this team here, Team WOCA, The Source. And we've been working to raise money for the Literacy Council. For those who don't know what the Literacy Council does, they teach adults to read. Simple as that. The reasons why an adult might not know how to read are not as simple. There's a whole number of reasons. But it is definitely a handicap if you can't read. When we had Dr. Tim Conway in here, who's specializes in this, and he's actually on the board of directors for the Literacy Council. Sorry, he explained that it's not sometimes as simple as sitting down with the same educational material that you and I probably used when we were in early school. There are different reasons and sometimes different approaches, and so he's a wonderful asset to what they do over at the Literacy Council. And our role in all of that is real simple. Whenever they have the Kiss the Horse for Literacy campaign, we raise our hand and volunteer, and our job is to raise money. We try to come up with a creative and clever way to do that, and in the last this is our fourth year, so the first 3 years we raised $11,000 total. Between them. The first year was the big year because we had a really great guy who gave us $7,000 for 7 paintings, which was awesome.
Wonderful.
So we've never outdone that.
No.
And this year, as most of you probably know, what we're doing is we're taking the music that we play, the instrumental music. We do have a whole other world where we do music with words, but
yes, and guitars and pianos and things.
Yeah, but this is the accordion and the mandolin, and it's real simple. We play polkas and French ballads, and then we don't sing them. We just play the beautiful melodies and the Italian waltzes and some of the other world tunes, even some from like early America, like Oh Susanna. And we show up and we play them, and we play them because you ask us to. And it can be a wine and cheese thing. We'll kind of tone the music to whatever the event is. If you want it more polka-ish, like a beer festival or something, we'll do that too. And it's and what you pay us doesn't go to us; it goes to the Literacy Council, which means that we prefer that you write out a check to the Literacy Council. If you give us cash, of course, we'll pass it on to them.
Definitely.
But the all of the money goes to them, and the dollar amount is what I want to say is up to you. In other words, it's your donation. The whole thing ends April 28th.
Yep.
So if you want us to play for you, maybe you've got a meeting you'd like us to bring some music into.
Yeah, we could drop in for a little bit.
Or you want
your
to
milling
plan
about.
a little wine and cheese, or you have an open house or something like that. Just call Robin here at the station, 732-8000, and she'll find a date. We don't have a lot of dates left, but we probably have something. And we actually have a couple of doubles. Couple of days where we're going to play more than one place. We don't have any triples yet, but we're willing to do them if we can fit them in.
Exactly.
So that's what I wanted to just let you know. So it's a fun way for us to help raise money. We're one of, I think, 12 teams. I don't know how many teams there are, maybe more than 12. The other teams are raising money too.
Yes, they are.
I don't think that we have outdone the winning teams.
No.
And there are some heavy hitters.
Yep.
Who are hard to compete with because they just have a lot of money. So.
And they can write a check. So.
But anyway, but we do it. We have fun, and I always hope that our contribution to this whole thing is more than money. It's the awareness, not only of the event, the Kiss the Horse for Literacy event, but more importantly, the Literacy Council itself.
Yes.
And so on that note, the last thing I'll say about this is this: that if you know somebody who needs to learn how to read, A, that person shouldn't be embarrassed. B, that person doesn't need a fortune to pay for it because it's free.
Yes.
You go to the Literacy Council, you just say, hey, can I speak to somebody? I would love to learn how to read. It just never was something I was able to do, and it would change my life if I could learn. The Literacy Council is located next to the post office downtown Ocala.
Yep.
For those who've been here a while, it used to be the Goldman Appliance Building. They bought it and reconverted it, and it's beautiful inside, really.
Across from the Pine Street Shopping Center where the Ocala Police Department is, 1 block east.
Okay, and what's more important than how beautiful the decor and the architecture is the hearts of the people who volunteer there to teach. So it's just a win-win even for the community. The community wins when we have somebody who couldn't read before who now can read, because he can contribute more. There's a lot of people have done this and went on to have better jobs as a result of it. So.
Yep.
So if you can support us or any of the other teams, if you go to the MarionLiteracy.org, you can probably find information about that. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about Marco Rubio.
Okay.
Marco Rubio wrote a book And he had at least one other book. We had him on for the other book.
Yes.
I don't remember the title of it, but the new book is called American Dreams, Restoring Economic Opportunity for Everyone. And I think the book sheds some light on who this man is, if you didn't already know. So let me tell you just a few little tidbits from the book. The book starts out when he was a young man, of course. He's in an ambulance with his grandfather. He is 13 years old at the time. It was August 1984. His grandfather was born in Cuba, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's with his grandfather in the ambulance. The reason he's there because he's translating for the paramedics.
Oh, okay.
In case you're wondering, why is the 13-year-old in the ambulance? Well, because the grandpa couldn't speak English. So he's translating for the paramedics, okay? The next day, grandpa slipped into a coma, and Marco Rubio, 13 years old, says, Grandpa, I'm going to make something of myself. He makes his grandfather a promise about what he's going to do with his own life. And he already has done something with himself. As you know, he's now a presidential candidate. He's a Republican. I guess you all know that. He's 43 years old now. I guess you all know that. He is a conservative. He was connected to the Tea Party, which isn't a real political party. It is more of a philosophical party, I guess you would say.
Yeah. And he has to give up his seat, right, to run for president?
Yes, he does.
He has to give it up. Okay.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Right.
All right. So here are some of his quotes from the book. One of the things he says, another Clinton presidency would be a death blow to the American dream. I mean, obviously, Hillary Clinton is a heavy hitter on the Democratic side, so that would make sense that he would say something like that. He criticizes the former Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, for not offering detailed plans to fix Social Security and Medicare. He also rips her for saying during an October speech, quote, "Don't let anyone tell you it's businesses and corporations that create jobs." He criticizes for that. So did we. Hello.
Yes, exactly.
Rubio argues in the book, the problems of the 21st century cannot be solved with 20th century solutions. That we could debate. I don't know. You could debate it because sometimes solutions are solutions. He's basically painting a picture in the book of Hillary that she's wedded to policies and programs of the past. That's actually his words. Wedded to the policies and programs of the past. Basically trying to say, look, if she's in office, we're going to have the same old because she's from the old school. And that's what she'll bring to the White House. Implying that he himself would be a younger guy with new ideas, new 21st century ideas. That's his platform. But anyway, I'm just kind of reading from the book to give you some thoughts about who he is. Another quote from the book is this one. "It is hard for me to imagine retiring at 65 and spending the next quarter century not working. I expect to be working doing something productive and fulfilling." It's a nice notion.
Yes.
I don't know what he's implying. I think a lot of people who retire do go on to continue working.
I think so.
I think some people retire from one job and then enter another one because the other one is what they've always wanted to do. And they're afforded the opportunity to retire, like your brother.
Yes.
Retired from being a teacher because he really wanted to pursue his love of carpentry.
Exactly.
So I don't think saying that somebody retired is saying that somebody quit.
Exactly.
So I'm not arguing with him. I support his idea that he wants to work until he dies. However, retiring is not always the same thing. Everybody doesn't do the same thing after they retire or have the same reasons for retiring.
Right.
I'm not picking on him. I support him, actually, even though he doesn't like me. But I do think there's an arguable point right there. All right, we'll take a little break, and we'll come back and talk some more about some of the quotes from Marco Rubio's book that I think shed some light on who he is and why you might want to vote for him or not vote for him. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds and some intervals of sun today with a shower and heavy thunderstorm around this afternoon. The high today 84 to 88. Partly cloudy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm in the area, low 66 to 70. More clouds and sun tomorrow with a shower and heavier thunderstorm around in the afternoon, high 83 to 87. For Friday, mostly cloudy with a shower and thunderstorm during the late morning and afternoon hours, the high 82 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Buried under receipts and confusing tax code? Let Crippen & Company help. They work hard to make the tax preparation process as painless as possible. With offices in Ocala and the Villages, their team is dedicated to helping clients with corporate and personal tax returns, bookkeeping for businesses, and estate planning for the future. Crippen & Company crafts a truly customized experience for each client's needs while alleviating stress and creating a big picture of your overall financial health. Call 352-732-4260 or visit crippencpa.com to get started.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
The Ocala Rotary Silver Anniversary Golf Scramble is at the Ocala Golf Club Friday, May 1st. Registration and lunch at 11:30 with a shotgun start at 1:30. Prizes include a Toyota for hole in one, closest to the pin, longest drive, par 3 poker, raffle, and every player receives a complimentary round of golf. Funds raised will support the Discovery Center and Rotary Foundation. Only $85 per player. For more information, contact Kay at 732-7080.
All right, 12 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this morning. We're spending this half hour talking about Marco Rubio, who announced that he is a candidate for the presidency when we go to the polls in 2016. And he's a heavy hitter, and a lot of people are happy that he's thrown his hat into the ring. And we're just looking at some quotes from his book, his own words. His book is called American Dreams, Restoring Economic Opportunity for Everyone. So let's see. We were talking before the break about his statement that he didn't want to retire, basically, not at 65 anyway. So how that manifests itself in the context of a person who has the power to at least influence policies in this country. Mm-hmm. Unless executive order comes into play, then he actually makes the policies. But Rubio supports raising the retirement age for Social Security as a way to ensure the system's solvency and to reflect longer life expectancies. Some people say that if you raise it to 69, which I guess is the number he's looking at, that it would cause some people to file for Social Security disability, which basically you're still extracting money from Social Security, but before your really retirement. So if you're 65 and the age has been raised to 69, some people would say, "Well, I got a back problem. I can't work anymore." So
yeah.
I don't know if I believe that. I mean, that's kind of a little condescending toward the American people to say that American people don't have a good work ethic.
I think so.
Because I've always heard that we've got the best work ethic in the world. Mm-hmm. You have the shortest vacation times.
Exactly.
On Medicare, Rubio supports a voucher-like system in which seniors would get a set amount of money and could choose between traditional fee-for-service providers and private providers. Fee-for-service Medicaid providers, I should say. All right, another quote from his book is this one: "I don't buy into the dystopian scenarios of self-aware robots enslaving mankind, but you don't have to be a sci-fi conspiracy theorist to acknowledge that plenty of good, well-paying jobs are being taken over by machines." Keep in mind, now I like the guy, but I'm just trying to be fair in analyzing what he is saying here. Mm-hmm. He's saying on one hand, I'm going to bring us into the 21st century. And on the other hand, he's saying, look, I don't want these self-service checkouts. I don't want drones delivering things. Because if you have self-service checkouts, then you're not going to have people being able to work as cashiers. If you have drones delivering packages, you're not going to have UPS drivers delivering packages.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants us to be in the 21st century, but he doesn't want some of these technologies to take over the traditional jobs.
Yeah, that's...
Well, I mean, there are traditional jobs like the one that we're doing right here, not necessarily in talk radio, but in music radio, the guy who used to sit by the record player and tell you little tidbits about the music and about the weather and all that stuff. I mean, that guy's been replaced by computer technology.
Right, exactly.
The printing press has completely changed from what it was, right?
Sure.
So
sure it has.
there are so many things, and other jobs, and we've seen this over and over again. It's a hard pill to swallow. But if you're going to really be saying, look, we're going to bring us into the 21st century, then you have to say, and that means finding new jobs for the people who would have been employed as delivery men, who would have been employed as cashiers, maybe something a little bit more 21st century-ish.
Exactly.
I don't know what that would be, but I'm sure there's plenty of that.
Exactly.
Anyway, even waitresses being replaced by, I guess, robots in some restaurants in some parts of the country. I don't think we've seen it here yet.
No, I can't recall that.
But they say Chili's has them in some places.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wonder how that works.
I know. I don't know. But anyway.
For us, no tips.
Another.
They don't need to spend money, the robots.
Another quote from his book is, increasing access to federal student loans has been a bipartisan effort in Washington, one that I have supported. But it has created what many experts believe is a bubble in higher education, not unlike the housing bubble that preceded the financial crisis. I think he's right on that one.
Yeah, but a loan is a loan. If a student gets a loan, they need to pay it back. So.
Okay, but that's not what he's saying. He's saying that the college tuition keeps getting higher and higher because they know it will be easier for students to pay for it because of the federal student loans.
Oh, okay. Now I got it.
He's saying it's inflating because, hey, this happens all the time. I even actually benefited from this. Let me tell you how I benefited from this. When I was younger, I played music in bars, and a bar would pay $35 a night. Okay?
Yeah.
Just as an example, okay? I kept graduating to different bigger bars, and I was playing in the New York area, and I was up to $250 a week, which was a lot of money at that time, at least especially for me. Then I discovered the college market. And in the college market, well, first of all, in the bars, so $250 a week, I think was the highest I ever made doing those bars. And I had to work about 4 hours a night or 6 hours a night, depending on the bar. Okay? Sometimes they had happy hour for 2 hours. All right. But in the colleges, I would play shows for 1 hour and get anywhere between $350 and $850 per show. Now, how is a college able to pay so much money to a guy like me who is an unknown performer? Here, I'll tell you how. 2 reasons. A, because they would spend $10,000 for the main act, because I wasn't the main act. I was the opening unknown guy, the guy everybody said, come on, get off the stage. But you would have Linda Ronstadt, if you remember her name. John Sebastian, if you remember his name. I'm trying to think of some of the famous people that were on the college circuit, same time I was. The guy who did Wildfire.
Michael Murphy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These guys would get $10,000, $20,000, even $30,000 from the school, and the school would try to make that money back so they'd break even. So they bring these concerts to the school. The reason they have a warm-up act that they pay $850 to, which would be me, is because by having a warm-up act, there's a portion of time between the warm-up act and the main act. And that portion of time was the moneymaker. That's when people got up to get nachos and cheese, to get beer, to get anything else they wanted to get. That's when they got souvenirs from the main guy, because I didn't have souvenirs.
Yeah.
But they would buy souvenirs. And so that's how, and I benefited from, because guess where the money comes from in many cases? It comes from the government.
Yes.
So while I wasn't getting paid by the government, I was getting paid indirectly. So I actually agree with what he's saying. I've even witnessed it. And by the way, I'm very grateful for having had that experience, and it was a wonderful opportunity for me. But I see, from a taxpayer's point of view, that something's a little missing there.
Okay.
When the private business can't afford but $35 up to $35 a night up to $250 a week, whatever the difference would be. All right, here's another quote from Marco Rubio's book. At a time when the American family is threatened as never before, redefining it away from the union of one man and one woman only promises to weaken it as a child-rearing, values-conveying institution. In other words, he's opposed to gay marriage. Rubio criticized federal courts for ignoring the will of the people by ordering the state to issue marriage licenses. You know, that's an important point, what the people wanted. But if you're the child that has no family, and there are two really loving women who happen to love each other, and they are willing to raise this child, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing that because this child would have a home, and I don't know why that child wouldn't be adopted by a heterosexual couple. I don't know. I'm just saying that if it's going to benefit a child, then I don't see why this is such a bad thing. If you had the odd couple, they're not gay.
No.
But let's say the odd couple, let's say one of their siblings died in a crash and they had to raise the child.
Yes.
That child would be living with two men.
Right.
You know, they don't have sex with each other. Probably it's crazy atmosphere in that TV show, right?
Right.
So I don't know. It's just, but anyway, that's his opinion. I'm just telling you his opinion. My opinion doesn't really matter, but I throw it in during this segment anyway. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, hey, I just listened to that about the Rubio and the gay marriage, and just got to chime in. You know, I do a lot of work with families and children, and the number one problem I see in terms of kids having issues in life is father absence. And, you know, so you mentioned, you know, the lesbian couple that wants to raise a child. I just don't see that as being, obviously, you know, we all agree it's not an ideal situation. And there's no reason, I think, not to be idealistic when it comes to raising children. I think we need to present an ideal family structure for every child, and I think it can happen. I think, as you said, Jim, why wouldn't a heterosexual couple adopt a child?
Why wouldn't they? That's my point, yeah. I don't understand that.
And the gays and lesbians want children, quite honestly, this has been my experience, to fulfill their own desires, their own needs, their own fantasy, as it were, of having a real family. But it's not a real family.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, that's a really strong opinion. I guess I'm just thinking of the child. The article that I read said that there are some children that just aren't adoptable, and some of these gay couples are willing to adopt them. I don't know if that was slanted to make us feel this way or not, because sometimes, you know, journalists will do this so that we read an article. Oh, okay, I get it, but. I'm with you.
You got to think from the perspective of the child. I mean, you're adding insult to injury. When you take a child who's had no structure, no family, no gift of a father and a mother, and then you throw them into a lesbian or gay household with the value structures that are often in those households. That and I'm not going to condemn. I mean, I take care of, and there's wonderful, loving, wonderful homosexual people out in the world. I mean, I'm not going to diss them. I'm just basically saying that in terms of raising the children, there's a huge difference between having a mother and a father and having two moms or two dads. I mean, there's a reason why we need to have both, and we all agree with that. I get so upset.
I do agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
You know, how could we want to grow up without our dad or our mom?
Absolutely.
I don't know how they can ignore that fact.
Absolutely, but better, and I'm not arguing. I'm just saying, better to have a family than no family. I don't know. Yeah. But I don't disagree with you. I think, and P.S., I guess if there were gay couples adopting children, they should have a father figure in the mix somewhere, even if he's not having sex with one of the women. Just some guy who comes over and plays baseball or something.
Well, that's what I tell a lot of my single mom kids with single moms, which I was one as well at one point, is get a father image into that child's life.
Good point. Hey, thank you.
Real man.
Great call. Great. I think I've got to go.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Mass protest from coast to coast against police brutality. In San Francisco, demonstrators storming City Hall.
In New York, a huge crowd of demonstrators shut down the Brooklyn Bridge Tuesday, with officers making more than a dozen arrests. While in Chicago, hundreds of protesters can be seen lining the streets calling for an end to violence. Those taking part say they're upset with recent police-involved shootings in Oklahoma and South Carolina that left 2 unarmed black men dead.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. Police in New York say an off-duty officer driving home on the Brooklyn Bridge was assaulted by 2 protesters. Google hit with an official antitrust complaint by Europe's regulator.